Hello. Hello, my friends, and welcome to tonight's episode of The League of Amazing Adventurers here on twitch.tv/tabletop rolls. Before we get into introductions and the show, a few announcements. Here are the other shows on this channel. Friday night, The Astral Calling AP. It's the ending of what I wrote as our prologue. Before the universe opens up to the rest of the city and the crew. So we'll see where they decide to go, what they decide to do, and a possible enemy or friend that may begin pursuing them. Then, on Saturday, Will and Matt are doing something. Matt, it just occurred to me the other day. I do, in fact, own a car. And a laptop. So I could bring my laptop, remote in my PC, and I could help you build your commander deck live at your house.
I think that will be unnecessary.
Sad. Then on Sunday, we have Stardew Sunday, which is me playing Stardew Valley Extended Edition, trying to get perfection. We're getting there. Monday, Strength of Thousands AP. Matt runs that. McKenna plays Avi in that. And yeah, that's all the important stuff. So, characters and players. First up, hi, I'm Will, GMing tonight.
I will.
As I always do. I am... I've been playing Pathfinder 2e on Roll20 for... I can actually look at these stats now. A little bit over 1,000 hours now.
Oh boy.
I'm proud of
I'm
that.
not saying something because you actually close your tabs.
Yeah. I do.
I have noticed, like, the Nim icon sometimes on there, I'm like, but she should be sleeping, right?
Yes, McKenna doesn't
yes.
close her tabs.
Yeah, 4,783 hours played.
There's a metaphor in there somewhere.
I thought that was how many tabs you had open for a second, and I was about to be like,
No. No, my computer would die.
That's like how many unread emails I have, maybe, but like,
Girl.
nah, I got myself down to 94. It was at 20,000 at one point, though.
Jesus, Abby.
Hey, I got myself down to 94.
Proud of you, bestie.
Thank you.
but we, of course, are joined by usual cast of characters, our gaggle of good friends. We'll do this in a weird order tonight. We have Abby, of Abby's Worlds of Stage Instagram existence. How are you doing tonight,
Hey,
Abby?
guys. Well, I am joined tonight by my dog.
Jesus Christ, Abby.
This is my official Twitch announcement that Iggy passed a couple weeks ago. I had her for around 100 days. Oopsie whoopsie.
Abby, you can't just oopsie whoopsie.
I'm dealing with it. I sobbed. I cried. I took a couple weeks off.
And we're very proud of you, and we're here for you.
Thank you.
Is that what is done in the States when you're mourning? You go to Pennsylvania?
Yeah. You go to Pennsylvania and you stay in a house full of 4 dogs at a time. It's absolute chaos. And then you're like, you know what? I could use a break from dogs for a while, maybe. They're insane. I love them so much, but they're nuts.
Is that why, after going to visit my brother and enjoying the company of my lovely niece and nephew, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay being single.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It works the same way.
Yes,
No, I love those dogs, and I miss Iggy so much, but, you know, it is what it is, and it do be this.
It do be
Dog
this.
cancer to electric boogaloo. Let's go.
Yeah, speaking of electric boogalooing and let's going, someone who I often say let's go and do things with because they're local to me, Matthew.
I mean,
Playing
we did do a
Garo.
thing. We went and saw a movie. We saw the Puss in the Boots and His Last Wish.
Yeah. And then
How was it? I heard
Sunday
it's good.
It's a lot of fun.
it's a Shrek movie. So you know.
Listen,
I-
some of those Shrek movies are fucking cinema. So
Yeah.
I will
It's
not
a
be
Shrek
writing
movie.
it off as just
I-
a Shrek movie.
I feel that is selling it a little short. I think it is a delightful movie with some good themes, some excellent characters, some great animation, some great action scenes, and some catchy music at occasion.
And if you want to play, that wolf that I'm sure a whole bunch of artists are having a time and a half with on Twitter, you can in Pathfinder 2e. And there'll be a video up about how to build that on TikTok, probably either this week or this weekend.
Memento Mori.
Speaking of TikTok, someone who is the most successful person on TikTok that I know, you have McKenna.
Abby's right there.
we were thinking it, yeah.
You have the most consistent brand, though.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
I mean,
hopping all over
granted-
the place.
Okay, and unfortunately, Abby, you can only get sterilized once, so that's hard
It's
to make a
true. That's all
consistent
I've
Oh,
One and done. That's it.
we're just in a mood today. Hi y'all, I'm McKenna Ray Tynan. I make jokes on TikTok, and sometimes, like tomorrow, if you are local to the LA area, you will be able to see me on your television. My workplace is being featured on local and maybe online NBC Channel 4, and they're doing a little 5-minute segment about our little shop and the caramels that we sell, and it's gonna be all of our Valentine's Day flavors, all 2 of them, as well as all of our like regular flavors. So if seeing me on a TV screen instead of on your laptop screen or desktop screen sounds like a fun time to you, that'll be NBC Channel 4 News tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Or one of our 4% of our viewers who watch us on mobile.
Oh, that is a large percent.
I mean,
Yeah,
Oh, would that count as a mobile if it's on an iPad?
yeah.
Damn.
everything that's not a desktop is mobile.
Really?
Interesting. I feel like the iPad is like a weird hybrid, but that's another conversation.
Oh, don't listen to them, sweetie.
That is.
I mean,
another
and weird in a
conversation.
good way. I love my iPad.
But that's all of our announcements. That's all of our player stuff. McKenna, did you post a TikTok before this?
Yes.
Cool. So,
Funny, go
you
watch
know,
it.
go check that out after the stream, and we'll remind you again in a bit. But for now, League intro, go! Oh. And we're back. Before we
Oh,
get started,
what?
I hit the regular button, not the 3-person button.
Oh.
So I just wanted to tell a quick story to the stream and preserve my idiocy for all eternity in the archives and stuff. So I was at movie trivia last night. First round, we were confident about like 9 out of the 10 questions, and I, as our tradition, was the stenographer of sorts, writing things down. Unfortunately, we lost a point we should have got because for some stupid reason, my brain skipped a beat, and rather than writing what was it, Citizen Kane, I wrote Citizens Kane, possessive. And because of that, we did not essentially tie for third place at the end of the night. Not that third place matters. You don't get anything for second or
In
third.
fairness, I got a D on a monologue for making the same mistake. That was the 1 letter off. I added a plural to something that didn't need a plural, and because I was 1 letter off, I got a D.
In my
That
defense, in a
sounds
couple
like
later
it
rounds,
happened in New York.
It did. Randolph Pearson.
Yep.
Go to hell.
in my defense, if I had ignored the opinions of friends in later rounds, we might have gotten a few extra points.
Well, Matt's calling.
But I was trying to be a team player and not be the person who thinks I'm right. I'm always right.
So you're trying not.
But it turned out I was right.
Well, Matt, you called out Squishy on stream, but last time on the League of Amazing Adventurers.
Actually, I called out Aubrey, I think.
Oh. And there you go. But last time on the League of Amazing Adventurers, our party of Pathfinders, of members of the League of Amazing Adventurers, decided to go and investigate a church that the Lord of Light's congregation had taken over and had promptly, shoved all the other sort of shrines, the other deities, into a literal closet. Discovering that they were using the essentially dust of angels, a radiant infused drug of sorts to spike the ice cream to allow celestials possess people that were eating it at this open house. Our party decided to put a stop to that because not cool.
Mm-hmm.
Doing so, they went in, they faced off with an ice cream golem named Enchantment. That name was not created by me, that was created by McKenna, so she gets full credit for that. And after defeating that demon, and saving the people from this churchy mind control, scary religious stuff, our party got all the Lord of Light stuff out of that area and began making their way back to their respective homes. So they can meet up the next day to plan out how they're going to deal with the dubious deity known as the Lord of Light.
Well, very dubious.
Yes. Upon basically leaving links to deal with some the leftover ingredients the church had in their lab, the rest of the party began to head out for the night. Garl discovered that Abigail, the child that Cassandra and Garl had basically taken under their wing, the sorceress, had left the mansion, the magical mansion that Nim created for them to follow the party, into danger so that she could learn something. Upon this discovery, Garl carried them home, and they tried to hide it from Cassandra. It failed. And that was the first time that Nim was called away from her home before returning to bed with Elisandra and Gwendolyn. After dealing with some some consequences for Abigail's actions. I'm not going to use the smart word, I'll use the simple word. The consequences for Abigail's actions, Nim began to make her way back home, and just as she was about to enter through the door, she saw Elisandra and Gwen in the dining room, having a nice dinner, getting ready to have a nice night, and then Malicor sent Nimbus Ascending about how they had discovered additional information about some magical runes that had appeared on the ground in a spot they weren't before, correlating this between a vision that Cassandra had earlier in the evening. Some wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff appeared to be happening. Nim, finally able to make it home, finally got to rest with the girls for the night. And we're picking up the next morning. The sky is shining, the birds are singing. There's still a very large hole in Cassandra and Garl's home from a magical incident that Abigail had.
Is this the equivalent of her, wetting the bed? She puts a black hole in the living room instead of, I mean, that's things kids do.
Abigail with a massive black hole behind her at 3 o'clock in the morning. Garl, I threw up.
Girl, I threw up.
They do that thing where they just stand there and wait for the parent to wake up.
Just in the shadow with flickering torchlight behind her. It's like a silhouette. Has her hair down in front of her face.
The reflection of her in the mirror has different colored eyes.
Yeah.
Ah.
But yeah, that's where we left off. People are waking up. The mansion still has a few hours on it, but Garl, Cassandra, and Abigail were staying in that for the night, just because there's a literal hole in their house. But otherwise, you wake up that morning with not much on your to-do list other than, planning on how to deal with a deity that's coming back to the world to cleanse it in purifying light and retake his bride, who was Cassandra.
Come the morning, as Abigail's enjoying breakfast, and Garl and Cassandra maybe just sort of like standing on like upper balcony looking down or something. Garl comments, though, that our house may have a hole in it, but I guess that we maybe have filled a hole we didn't know we had in our hearts.
Agreed.
One of the
Also, have you seen my
fun.
Have you seen my pants? I can't find them.
I have hid them somewhere in the house. Here's your first clue. Good luck.
Poor Garl.
Is it Tuesday already?
How did you know?
So, are we aware that we need to like start thinking about
Yes.
Deicide.
You were going to start thinking about yesterday, but Lynx had discovered, the fact that church was having an open house, and so y'all decided to go deal with that, and then it was super late, so okay, we'll deal with it tomorrow.
I hate to admit it, but I actually do have plans today. A certain detective sent me a message last night saying that I needed to meet up with him right then, and I said, absolutely not, fucker. We could wait. We're meeting tomorrow. So I think I have like a coffee shop sort of situation with this detective that I'd be happy to invite Cassandra and Garl along to.
Nice.
All right.
I'm sure Abigail's coming along because there's no stopping her.
Abigail does ask if she'll need to use invisibility to come along this time, or if she can just tag along.
Tag on along.
That actually raises an interesting point, because invisibility doesn't work on Garl.
No, she was
Constant
just
true
staying out
sight.
of you. She was staying out of you. Like she
I mean, Garl only seems to have one functioning eye, so it's a little easier.
Yeah.
Like,
Did
she's
we
just
ever
always
find
standing
out what
over here.
happened to that other eye?
Well, no, it's just it's like more crystallized than the other one.
Oh.
It's like literally kind of a rock at this point.
Oh no. Poor
You
Garl.
don't think about Garl's body too much. I know that's a weird thing to say, but don't think about it. It'll be uncomfortable.
Poor Garl. But yeah,
There is a price to pay for power.
Duh.
Who said that?
I'll want
Wait.
to go to the coffee shop with Mr. Detective Man, who still does not have a name.
Yes, he does not.
Detective
I thought his name was
Rollins.
Detective.
His name is Agent.
Oh, Agent Detective.
It's just a detective.
Strong name.
It's a family name. Don't make fun of
Family
it.
name.
He's actually Agent Detective the Third.
Oh.
You coming into the coffee shop, and everyone make me just a straight perception check.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we're all here. Delightful.
Yep.
Garl did find her pants.
Nice.
Oh, good for Garl.
Perception.
At 20 for Merle.
Woohoo.
Merle had his espresso this morning.
That makes sense. I'm wearing like a very Merle themed outfit today. We match. Look, the makeup, the lipstick, it's a vibe. We vibing.
So, when you arrive at the coffee shop,
Ooh, excuse me.
Nimbus, Cassandra, and Garl, the three of you are kind of looking about. They've changed some items on the menu. It's kind of changed into more seasonal stuff. Summer is coming to an end, and it's becoming fall, so they now have a pumpkin spice option for everyone.
Delightful.
And that's probably the most distracting thing. However, Merle, as Merle is looking about, there's a number of odd things Merle notices. Specifically that, like, a lot of folks in this shop have glowing eyes.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Maybe it's just a new fashion.
Abigail, you know how I said no scythes in public?
Scythe!
We may have an exception to the rule. Nice.
Miss Nimbus, there are a lot of celestial possessed people in this cafe.
How many?
14.
About 14, Miss Nimbus.
None of the employees, mind you. All just regular people having coffee.
So we think that they were not possessed here. It was
Yeah.
someplace else. Do you think it is
Well-
too early in the morning for a quick little miracle?
I mean, if you need time to work on them, I can ensure that they can't get away. And by that, I'll use Passwall to open up a hole in the floor and then just shove all of them in the hole. It'll be a miracle hole.
I think I might be able to do it from here. I just
This is
don't
the
know
episode
if
title.
that's-
I'm glad that you didn't go with another word for miracle for that.
Why?
I got it. Anyway.
Amateur.
Yeah, if I can very quietly conduct a little miracle to de-celestify all of these people in this here cafe.
Just a quiet pre-coffee miracle.
Yeah, just a quiet... Yeah, I mean, get my coffee first.
Yeah.
You can't conduct miracles without a little caffeine in your system.
No.
Get a little pumpkin spice latte and...
Yeah, your latte is
And there's
delivered
nothing
to you.
in the... It's not the pumpkin. Is it? Okay.
No, I'm not making evil pumpkin spice. That would be
I
be
wouldn't
too
put it
villainous.
past you.
Aren't lattes going to be an item in Pathfinder in the next book or something?
Yes, they are.
I saw rules. I wasn't sure if it was a fake.
We are getting rules for it.
God, they make rules for fucking lattes? Jesus. God.
And they can come in different varieties, and pumpkin spice is one.
Oh my God.
And it comes at a different bonus.
For what
But
purpose? What bonuses could they possibly provide?
I don't know, morale? +1 to a social check or something? I don't know.
You know it's not Constitution.
I do want to find, Will, one of these glowy-eyed people who's kind of by themselves or something. And if at all possible, I would like to use my legendary skill at intimidation to get them to tell me where they got the glowy eye shit. Or where they got their...
So the one that's sitting alone, there's one young man sitting alone. They kind of have a man bun on. With this really
Oh, okay. I feel so much better about this now.
Messy man bun hair, goatee, and they have a portable typewriter with them. And they're sitting in the corner. They have a coffee that is very cold by now. It looks like they've just been
Jokes on
sitting
that.
in this chair working on something all day.
Joke's on them. Garl's a Luddite. So Garl is just going to stroll over, sit down in front of the table, and just going to lean forward and... Now I'm trying to remember, are these people are they completely taken over by the celestial thing, or is it a influence on their personality? I can't remember exactly how it works.
It depends on the person. The people that you saw at that function were just kind of being piloted by Celestials. They kept their personality, but the Celestials were having an effect on actions they took.
I'm just going to lean forward, look him straight in his bizarre glowy eyes, and I would like to persuade him to reveal... Where were you enlightened?
Make
And I'm
me,
going to roll an intimidation check.
Make me intimidation check.
40. Not bad. Especially if this is just a man bun, man.
I mean I got this idea from for my book. I got this idea from some books that I read. There's this it's really more like a fan project. It's not really even a book. You've successfully terrified this person.
Anything interesting happened the last couple days?
I mean, I had some folks talk to me about my art and my books and stuff, and told me that it was inspirational.
Which folks?
I don't know. They were just on the street. We talked for a bit, man. They were
Well,
really
no
into,
one-
they were really into my fiction.
I don't believe that. What did they look like?
They were just people. Like they had like white robes on.
Did they have colored clothes?
Yeah,
like
they had
they
like white.
described
They had
them-
like white rose with gold trimming. They were like saying, "Oh, creativity is a must." It's
Okay,
a
we're getting
virtue,"
somewhere.
And da da da. Yeah. And then so they told me I should just keep writing. So I've just kept writing. I've been writing and writing and writing. I think I've put out like some of my best work ever. And they just hand you this like manuscript.
I was so tempted to feed it to him.
Um,
I don't know why this guy's making me irrationally angry.
I mean, I live in LA. If I got irrationally angry every time I ran into someone like this, I would never know peace.
You would. Looking down, Garl, it appears to be a rat professor fanfic.
Now I'm tempted to give this to Cassandra or Nambies. I feel like they might find this interesting. Do you
What
have a-
rating does this fanfic have? I must ask.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
The professor took his tail.
His waistcoat slipped to the floor.
And his very wet nose.
Not the wet nose.
I'm sorry, chat.
No, you're not.
It is.
You're right, I'm not.
The
I'm
full,
a little ashamed, but I'm not sorry.
The full title of the book is "The Professor Mice by Night."
Oh, God.
No.
Yeah, is the full title of the fic. But they just hand you that.
I,
was
Matthew,
just-
have several problems with that title, but I'm not going to bring it up. They didn't give you anything? Like, did they shake
I
your
mean,
hand?
They shook my. They gave me like a pat on the back, and like I felt really creative after, and that's why I've been writing this.
And it's back.
Strip.
Garl.
No.
I mean, we're in public.
I'm
that'd be
joking.
a
I'm
fe-
joking.
that
I'm
would be a
joking. I didn't
felony.
say that.
Although, like, I mean that page 45, but okay.
Is that a castle
This
reference?
man just writing straight up smut in the middle of the goddamn coffee shop.
Good for him,
That's
I
not
mean,
very
that's not a-
Lord of Light of him.
isn't
I
it?
mean, we don't know what the Laurel Light does behind closed doors.
Well, actually, Cassandra.
Some of us don't.
Sandra?
Cassandra.
No, I'm sure he
What's
had a
into? Like,
Well, his favorite color is beige.
oh,
Oh,
God.
Yeah.
we do need to kill him.
Sad beige husbands.
Sad
or
beige
sad
husband.
beige Cassandras.
Yup.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
All right. Well, I think I've gotten everything out of this guy. I break his neck. No,
just dies.
no, I'm not doing that.
Everyone
yeah, he
runs
would.
out of the coffee shop screaming.
Well, no witnesses. Swing. No.
And Garl
Garl
gets
just-
1 point of Ray.
I think about this for a second, and then I very deliberately give him an encouraging pat on the shoulder. Does anything happen?
Oh.
I mean, they kind of like crumble under it. Like they very much are like scared.
Well,
Like, they
broke his
almost fall
clavicle.
to the ground. Like they like almost fall over. It's like I wasn't expecting you to do that. You were kind of intimidating.
I just kind of lean down, like bodily, like pick him up by the scruff, put him back in his chair, and just say, "Eat some protein, man. God," and walk away.
He looks at Garl. Takes like a moment of reflection.
Reflection.
Looks back at Garl. Looks down at typewriter. Starts immediately typing.
I have that effect.
If Garl is done on her, a campaign of fear
Terror.
and
Never.
terror, I think I am just gonna cast a cheeky little miracle on everyone in the room, and just cast be gone, Lord of Light on
Bonk.
them.
Bonk the
So
Lord of Light.
everyone except for the employees and the detective upon your cast just falls over in this coffee shop. like passes out unconscious, and then like the detective stands up, and all the employees start like rushing over with like water and like just getting people up, checking for like, injuries and like trauma. Like someone like straight up hit their head on the side of a table going down.
Oh, well, that's not what happened the first time.
The first time they were in like a big theater with like cushioned seats.
Most churches do not have like cushions on their pews. They are by
It
design kind
was
of
a mega
uncomfortable.
church though, so it had like movie theaters.
Yeah.
Oh, one of those.
They went full like Lord of Light mega church.
Well, then Nim will go around and casting little heal spells on anyone who has little head bonks and whatnot, and does make a little bit of an announcement to the effect of like, there's no need to panic. The Lord of Light is spreading a little bit of nastiness around and is
Tell your friends.
casually possessing people, and you might not notice it at first, but in the to make sure that everyone has free will, I have done a little bit of exercising his influence from your systems. Let me know if anyone needs additional healing.
Weird question. Is there like, would knowing something embarrassing about the Lord of Light give them advantage against getting possessed by him and his people in the future?
No.
It might be fun for Cassandra,
It would
though.
be fun for Cassandra though.
I guess I go for future reference. The Lord of Light is lactose intolerant.
Cassandra,
These are
so
things
are
that are
so
true.
many gay people.
But
Hey,
Everyone with like an oat milk
Cooper's not
latte in
here.
the coffee shop just goes, "Oh, interesting."
I said, but he only consumes dairy products.
Oh God, he's one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, Cooper's not here to defend himself. But yeah, so after a quiet hubbub, the detective kind of like walks over to all of you. It's like, do you make it a habit to do that wherever you go?
I make it a habit to do it wherever I see people en masse possessed by celestials. Yes.
Yes, you got one of my boys out of that, so I thank you for that.
My boys.
Yeah, one
Speaking
of my.
of your boys, is that the last miracle I'm performing today, or do I need to clean out the entire precinct?
I've been working my way through it. And by working my way through it, I mean I found that if you knock them out for long enough, it also works.
I can't believe the only two options are the highest level of magic a person can achieve, or just knocking someone out cold. There has to be a middle
Well, I
ground.
mean, like, their basic dispels work upon them, but in your case, doing like a mass one works better with Miracle when they're in large groups like this.
That's
What if I just like slap them really hard across the face?
You'd have to keep them unconscious for about 2 days, I find.
Ooh.
I mean, that's usually what happens when I slap someone across the face really hard.
One of the people who has not left that typewriter as they overhear this immediately starts typing again.
Jesus. So anyway, was there anything specific
a
you
lawyer?
needed to talk to me about, or...
It was mainly that. I've pretty much cleared out my departments of the force, so most of the investigation division is celestial free. However, a number of beat walkers seem to be returning possessed on the daily. Even if we deal with them, the next time they walk their beat, they'll come back. I think there are some people going about the city, perhaps doing a more direct means of possession.
Oh, jeez.
Now, that being said,
Alright.
I've started to get my eye out. Unfortunately for us, Lutania's a little bit still in shambles. We haven't fully rebuilt after the war. So each of the cities is basically governing itself. There's no central body. However, here I've started putting into motion the necessary requirements to disallow the Lord of Light's people's entrance to the city.
Yes. Gods, I mean, I hate to leave someone who's been possessed without a home, but if it stops the spread to other people, then I don't really see an alternative.
That's what I'm doing. But that's what I wanted to speak with you about. The last couple that we've talked to, I interviewed one of them. They were talking about how their Lord of Light's going to be returning soon. I thought you would all want to know.
Yes, believe it or not, we are aware. Very aware. And, hopefully we will find a solution to that one way or another.
All right. Well, then I will leave that to you. I'm going to go get some rest. I've been taking the night shifts the last couple nights.
Perhaps, taking the possessed into your custody would not be a bad idea in the meantime.
That's something I've been putting forward, and I've been working with a friend of the city to ensure that happens.
A friend of the city?
Yes. He just kind of like nods and gets up and starts heading out.
Can you clarify who that is? If they are a friend of the city, they are a friend to me.
She was someone who did some work pre-war for us. Well, for me specifically.
Yes?
Yes. No
Can
one
you
special.
elaborate?
No one special. Just a good Samaritan. And he kind of nods and heads out.
Can you elaborate further?
Okay. Just
No.
I
walks
follow
away.
him. I follow him out. I've already paid for my coffee.
Just
I follow him out.
Starts walking down the
seriously.
street.
Sprinting?
You're being very rude. I would like to know who your informant is so that we might ask them for
It's-
information ourselves.
Any information my informant has, they said they would be sharing with you very quickly.
Can you just tell me who that
I
is
know.
so I know
am
who to look
s-
for?
I am sworn to secrecy on this one.
You are not.
I
you-
I very much am.
Can you give me a hint?
Purple, and he walks away.
That tasted purple.
And very much the hint was a lie. You can tell with your lie to me feet. But he gave you a hint. It wasn't a truthful hint. But
That's...
Abigail's just sipping her lemonade refresher as she like catches up to.
no, this is my fantasy world. The lime refresher still exists.
Ooh.
Well, that wasn't particularly helpful. Then I guess it's good that none of these people are possessed anymore.
They just go about their days.
Yeah, they just go about their day.
Yeah.
after being unpossessed.
They've been through a war. They've been through a coven of hags that had taken over the city for a bit and was running it from the shadows. These people have gotten used to like weird magical things.
Yeah, that's fair.
So at this point, it's just like, okay, well, I can't do anything about it, and like literally, we got like the world's greatest heroes here protecting us. So might as well go about our day.
The
Fair enough.
world's greatest heroes.
Well, then I'll return back to the table, and in a bit of a huff. All right. Well, he didn't have any information that we didn't already have for ourselves, mostly. So where do we want to start?
If there's one thing I've learned by being around Cassandra, actually, two things that I've learned. The second thing of being around Cassandra is that perhaps the answer will be found in a book. This
Interesting.
world is old as balls. There may be old stories about killing gods.
I suppose that's true enough.
Also,
Links.
fun quantifiable fact: there's actually a time period where the expression "old as balls" actually means something, because there is a period in our evolution where we didn't have those.
Interesting.
Lynx will pipe up and say, there is recorded history of it. and they'll actually pull out some notes that they had from their expedition they did a couple years ago. It was a class's final. Specifically with that rune that they had discovered. A rune that was imbued with the essence of death itself was used to sever a god's connection to an entirety of people. It was essentially able to kill that part of the god.
That's a good start.
I have the rune stone. It's just unpowered. We would need, the power of death itself to power it.
Oh.
And Abigail
Everybody looks at Abigail.
Well, I mean, I did kind of have that Reaper on my to-do list anyway. So what? Would we kill him? Would we... How can you coerce death into doing anything?
Ask nicely?
I mean...
Appeal to their
guess-
sense of duty and their worldview, how things are supposed to go.
Abigail just summons her scythe for a second and starts looking all over it. Damn. Puts it back.
What were you looking for, Abigail?
I was hoping for a if found please return to, and then we could leverage that, but
Well, that's very sweet of you, Abigail.
I thought I'd try to help. I mean, yeah.
From what little research I've done, and unfortunately there's not a whole lot to be learned, but I did want to look into it considering he's imprisoned my Nana, and I don't love that for her. They like games. Perhaps
I've heard those stories.
perhaps there is a game to be played and a game to be won. Although I don't know what we would offer up as the stakes to such a game that would equate to the power to kill a god,
Ooh.
and
Ooh.
hopefully the life of my grandmother.
Maybe there's someone who has cheated death, or like an immortal or something, that they can't get to because they're deaf, they can't interfere or something, but we could kill them if as collateral, like saying, we'll do this thing for you if we lose this game of checkers or something. Where's Arinari?
Is that ethical? Listen, I don't like Arinari. I'll just be very upfront about that. I don't dislike a lot of people, but I don't like Arinari.
Here's the thing. We could get him to agree to it if we can convince him it would be funny.
Do you think that would work?
Do it for the
Really,
lulz.
I think it might. Although I must admit, Arinari kind of grew on me a little bit.
Well, I was going to make a metaphor about mold or something, but I don't want to imply anything bad grows on you.
Well, if you think about it, he was somewhat instrumental in,
Harinari is like penicillin in that way.
In what?
No, it's not. He does not save any lives.
me getting up the courage to confess my feelings for Garl, even to myself.
Cassandra,
All right, maybe we don't kill him.
if that is something you need Arinari for, I worry for you a bit.
Sometimes
think-
you just need an extra shove, you know?
I think you would have shoved yourself eventually. I mean, that's personally how I feel. I actually kind of... Honestly, I think he thinks that he did me a great favor by setting up that dinner with me and Alessandra, but I don't... If I'm being entirely honest, I would have preferred it to have just been the two of us, and not something that had been made a grand spectacle out of. And then we were separated, right, when we were about... Anyway, I don't think Arinari has anyone's best interest at heart besides his own. Even that, I think, was done for his own entertainment and nothing else. And I because of that, I don't really appreciate it. And he has still never apologized for kidnapping and torturing me. So, He seems completely unrepentant, and until I see some indication that he fully plans on changing his ways permanently, I will remain wary of Aranari.
Understandable. Oh, but while we are on the subject of plans and immortality and stuff like that,
Yes.
I think eventually it would be beneficial to take a little hop back in time to where many of my visions have been coming from, and maybe
My.
figure out about those runes and that I sketched into the ground. And there was mention of some god killing being the source of some of that power, and they might have records of it back then and all that. And it was a very pivotal moment for Ragnaphon in his ascension.
What a name.
The girl spits at the mention of the name and then wipes it up with her
Laurel,
foot.
not in the cafe.
Sorry, it's a force of habit at this point.
Understandable, but still.
Abigail Ragnaphon.
Abigail, genuinely, I prestidigitated off the ground. What you're teaching this girl, anyway.
Scythe surfing.
It does look genuinely cool.
Oh yeah, she rushes outside for a second. She summons the scythe, and she like full on like pops an ollie on it, and then comes back
Cute.
in. I can do tricks.
Cute. Oh,
So proud.
Alright, so the power of death itself to trigger a rune, to, disconnect the Lord of Light from his following, which actually I think might be the most effective way to do away with him, because I think that's all he has? Is connected to his following? He hasn't really materialized in any other way. Right? Just a little bit. I mean, worst comes to worst, I think we can resurrect you with our own means at this point. But,
I mean, I'm perfectly prepared to fight through underworlds and stuff to get you, so...
Oh.
Well, though, backup plan, you know.
Sweet. Well, I mean, I guess we could hit the archives, see if there's any more information on, Deicide, and beyond that, any information on, death itself. See if he has a blind spot in any games that he's not so good at. Or maybe we can just play like more of an imaginative game where everybody wins. Maybe
We could
do
invent a
that.
game. That would
That's
be
true.
that could be very interesting then, because it would be brand new.
A game he's never played before.
A game no one has ever played before.
Oh, that might be very tempting.
The most dangerous game.
That way, what we'd be offering is the game itself, and it wouldn't necessarily matter who won or lost. It would be...
Like that story I heard about that library you find. You can't go in unless you offer the librarian a piece of knowledge.
Oh.
I think it was the giant owl.
Aww. Isn't that nice, Merle? The giant owl. Yes,
Avatar
I know.
gets the balk.
Avatar gets the yes. That's a good reference.
Not a very
But-
nice owl, though.
No, I mean, could you blame him?
Maybe a
A little
little.
grumpy.
All he wanted was to not have war be done, and no one listened to him. So
Yeah, but he's kind of generalizing, too.
yeah. All right. Well, to the archives. I'm assuming they're still at your house, Cassandra.
I think I might be able to open it here too, though. I
That's
can open the door
true.
to the library anywhere, right?
Yep.
Sweet.
Nice.
Enter.
Big old archive, lots of library. It's changed since the last time that you've all been in there.
Oh, has Axleon decorated?
Axelon's kind of like changed it to fit their style a little bit more. So before it was a lot of like just sort of utilitarian like metal shelving and that. Now it's all been replaced by like this like wood. It has this like nice smell to it. The books
Yes.
are better organized now. Before they were just sort of done in like order of acquisition, but now they're actually like sorted out into different ways. Like, and like upon entry, Axleon is now waiting for you. However, Axleon now looks also slightly different from before. The outfits that they were wearing before has been replaced with like this sort of like blue and black changing robe, depending on how the light hits it. And they are now wearing across their face a mask of Nethys.
Oh.
He's the god of
the new look,
knowledge
Axleon.
and helpful websites.
Thank you. Since I've been spending time in the archives, apparently Nethys himself has decided to appoint me some sort of caretaker.
Looks good on you.
I'm glad he's made it official. You've been working very hard. You've deserved it.
Yes, I spend my days in service of knowledge.
It's admirable, Axleon. But
Does knowledge have dental?
Good question.
I mean, it comes with a certain amount of divine power that could be considered, that could be used for dental.
Oh.
I mean, regenerate can be used in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
If you consider the bone an organ, then I don't see why you couldn't.
I mean, I could run
Anyway,
some tests.
sorry, I'm
but
getting
that would be rather-
distracted.
I feel like running tests and that would be more Arnari's purview.
Oh, gods. In a case of dire need, perhaps we can do an experiment on that, but I'd rather avoid it. We are here looking for information on A, deicide, and B, death itself, and C, game design.
I can give you death itself and game design pretty easily. Deicide, you must understand that the person that does oversee this library is a divine being that would be affected by that, so that information is hidden quite away.
Would it make any difference if the deity in charge of this library knew which deity we were planning on deiciding?
I think it would depend. Give me but a few moments.
I mean, the Lord of Light, if his plans are successful, I think there's a great deal of knowledge that is going to be lost, so I would think it would be in Nethys's best interest to help us, but
He did also disrespect the church of many other gods, if I'm correct.
right, that's true.
Yes.
That's true.
He's trying to kick out some other gods.
Yes.
Axleon
Well-
heads off though to collect some of those like books for you all, and does return with a few tomes on death and game design.
It's so specific.
Yes. Specifically, there's a few tales for the Grim Leaper that are interesting. Number one, the premise of death itself, which is about a 300-page tome talking about the concept of death and how it was given personification by mortals. And how for some time it was separated from mortals. It wouldn't interact, but it would be able to watch. It would be watching as if like through a glass window in this like desolate world, the plane of death. Eventually, they became bored of watching. So they crept into the world and let some of their power into the world so they could go find it. And upon that power being leaked into the world, some mortals began to gain a connection to the plane of death and powers from it. And death would basically have the ability to follow these people around and watch them and learn from them and experience new things through them.
Like Abigail.
Yeah, let's let Abigail read the book eventually, just so she has.
Yeah, like
For
Abigail's just like, yeah, this sounds like me, literally. Wait, does that mean that Death can see everything and hear everything we do?
Probably. I don't think we've said anything rude so far.
Well, we have mentioned trying to trick Death with a game.
Well, not trick, just treat.
Continuing on.
We treat Death to a game, then we get things that we want in return, hopefully.
Continuing on, the book continues. It basically goes through a number of histories of the holders of this power. It doesn't seem like, after the first, like, sort of wave, there was a lot of, unfortunately, like, they thought killing each other would give them more power over Death, but all it did was turn them into lesser Deaths, which are now basically Death servants, and so since then, after those sort of, like, Death attacks and Death wars happened, for lack of a better word, Death began limiting their power to one person at a time. Just so that it couldn't cause any undue conflict or early death.
Well, congratulations, Abigail.
Yeah, I guess so.
Anything. Perhaps it is a good thing that Death has a view of what we're doing, because that means that he can tell that we have no really nefarious intentions. We just sort of want to make the world a better place. But, that does mean that we are going to spoil the mechanics of our game. But,
Not if we come up with it on the spot.
And to be fair, we are also trying to achieve a specific goal with this. We are not, just like, let's have a fun game with Death for the sake of the challenge. We do want on some level to win.
oh, of course, but,
Does Death have any favorite foods or snacks?
sorry?
Does Death have any favorite, like, foods or snacks in that book? Because it would be rude to do a first introduction without bringing something. Like,
Oh,
as a
you always
treat.
have to bring snacks. It's a game night. You have to bring snacks.
Abigail
That would be the height of impoliteness to go to host a game night and not have. I'll read ahead. Is there any mention of Death's go-to favorite snacks?
There is no mention of that information in this book. Abigail does pipe up though and say, "I like apples."
Ooh. I could make an apple pie.
Ooh, maybe like little caramel and apple slices, candied apples.
Oh, I've been working on something. And Garl reaches down into her bag, rummages around for a moment, tosses out a few pieces of wood she's not interested in, pulls out an apple, takes out one of her many knives, starts to cut it, turns around to do something in secret, and then returns, and she's got like those little apple slices that are made into like bunnies.
Little rabbit apple slices.
I had to cut myself a lot to learn how to do this. It was a lot more delicate work than I'm used to, but I got it down now.
It looks wonderful.
I think you think Death would like them?
I'm sure anyone would like these.
Abigail just grabs one and eats it. I like them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Say
actually, it's not an
please.
issue if we eat in here, is it?
There's just no answer.
Axelion's like having an aneurysm in the corner as he watches this. It's like,
Peering up through a bookshelf.
Oh, poor Axelion.
Not near the
guys
sacred
had such a
text.
hard life.
The sacred text.
The sacred texts. Any more relevant information about Death?
Specifically in Death itself, it does mention sort of the mythology where you can challenge Death to a game for your soul. However,
Oh, for our soul.
in this case scenario, Death picks the game.
oh.
Oh. Well, then we'll just have to make sure we have a group with a varied skill set.
Though I wonder if the rules change if you were playing for the fate of someone else's soul. Because, I mean, I think my soul is pretty secure. I mean, it's either going to stay with Desna or be destroyed in, a cataclysmic shielding spell. But, one or the other. So I wouldn't be playing for my own soul, I'd be playing for Death's soul? Would we be killing Death? Is that even possible? That's not really what I want.
Traditionally, I think that doesn't have a good outcome usually.
No.
Also, I may have missed this, but how are we planning to contact Death?
Points at Abigail.
Oh, yeah.
She has sort of a one-way line of communication. Directly to... I guess it is a two-way line. I guess if you were to talk to Death, he'd probably talk back.
Let me
But,
try. No voices.
Oh.
I do want to check out a couple books on time travel just while we're here.
Why not?
Yeah. Oh, yes. We probably should look into that.
So, looking into that, a sort of small creature comes walking towards it, the area that you're at that point when you're like, I want to look at this type of book. The creature itself is slightly strange in the sense that it is a bipedal version of a cat.
Huh.
And it's in like a nice suit.
No boots?
No boots.
Okay. Just checking.
But it just stands there. I believe you were searching for a book.
Yes, I was.
Time travel related. Are you looking for specific rules for time travel, a history of time travel?
Hmm.
Do you have any books on what happens if time travel is happening to you involuntarily?
That too.
Temporal disjunction.
Yes, that.
Allow me. And the cat heads off, comes back with like a few books.
Ooh, very nice.
Yes. Nods and heads off.
Excuse me, are you, familiar with Axleon?
Yes, I am a one of the many caretakers of this archive now that Axleon has been assigned to it. They are currently in a meeting that cannot be disturbed. The patron of this archive.
I was probably asking for
Ooh.
permission for the, like,
The DSI
God
thing.
killing. Yeah.
Well, that's very cool, communing with his god. Good for him, that's so exciting.
You also have a copy of Time Travel for Dummies, because it's just like a little simple thing, I think, for a good introduction.
Walks off, comes back, puts the book on top.
Oh, thank you so much.
The first book, the first word, the first page of the Time Travel for Dummies book, it does say that. You just open it up, and the first page, just in big, bold letters, is the word "don't."
Fair enough. Next.
I mean, it's not as if you had a choice in the matter.
I've been
Hold
doing
on,
it
hold on.
anyway.
Hold on. Hand it to Garl for a quick second.
Oh, here you go, Carl.
Garl opens up to the page. This can't stop me because I can barely read. There you go.
But going on to the rest of the book, it says, "But if you must," it gives you some basic rules. Try not to change things. If you see family members, don't become romantically involved with them.
But
Fair.
anybody have that inclination?
They might think
Edit
it's a
this.
circular time thing where you were always destined to be your own grandpa.
Never in a million years would that be my first assumption.
What if she was really attractive?
Then we still wouldn't be able to procreate, therefore... What's your
There's
point?
magic in this world, man. There's magic. Anything is possible.
Good lord, Garl.
Future.
Don't write this book. No, I was just reading chat. I mean, does it say anything about, what happens if you accidentally get shunted back and forth in time?
This one doesn't have anything about it. This is just basically, proper safety rules for time traveling. Try not to butterfly effect yourself out of existence, that type of thing. The temporal disjunction book is a lot more in detail. Temporal disjunction can occur when great powers of magic are focused in on a person and cause them or their timeline to be disconnected from the normal temporal flow. However, in some cases, when this happens, they will see the point where it's happened over and over again in the form of visions, as if being transported there. That can affect... Those visions are not visions. They are little sort of time travel jumps that are actively changing the timeline. So things that happen in those visions can affect the future, which is like, correlation to causation. The fact with Nimbus seeing those runes having appeared was probably from what Cassandra did in that vision that she had.
Interesting.
There is a ritual to fix temporal disjunction. However, in order for temporal disjunction to be fixed, you have to basically stop the cause of it in the time travel. So it is essentially a ritual to time travel to the temporal disjunction point so that you can discover the cause of it, end it, and then you will return to your timeline.
Intriguing.
So we have to time travel to stop time traveling?
Don't
Guess
you?
so.
It's a loop. Garlic does a quick scan around the room to see if there's any past or future versions of us hiding behind a shelf or something.
No.
Okay.
But if you like, you can all make me a perception check.
Perception.
48 for Nim.
Nice.
48 for Garl.
It has become... Basically, on Nim's half of the table, it has become colder. On Cassandra and Garl's, it's become warmer.
Huh. What's that about?
And there's just
Burrow's true sight?
there's nothing here. Floating now down the aisle, Nimbus, you can see what appears to be a smoldering butterfly and a blue glowing moth coming towards all of you.
Religion check.
Yep.
38?
That iconography is related to Nethys.
Okay. Okay, so I know not to be alarmed at the
Yeah.
very least.
Like this, this appearing in Nethys' like holy domain basically is
Yeah.
pretty understandable.
Nim bows her head respectfully.
They kind of just float there for a while, watching you.
Hello.
Is there anything we can help you with?
It's literally a butterfly and a moth just like floating in air, watching you read.
All right. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you. And I go back to reading.
But yeah. Any other questions about the time travel stuff?
Just how to do it.
Yeah, that's what the ritual's there for.
Oh, sweet.
It is a magical ritual that requires at least one secondary caster. The primary caster has to be the person experiencing temporal disjunction.
Cool.
And depending on the success level of the ritual, it can be pretty hard on... Normally, it would be the primary caster only going. However, there is a way for you to bring the secondary casters along with you. However, depending on the ritual's outcome, the travel can be pretty rough on the people who are traveling with them.
Okay.
E.g.,
How expensive is it?
it's a 10,000 gold ritual.
Jesus.
That's a little pricey.
Well,
I put it on the college's tab.
2,000, I think. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm relatively rich in gems, but relatively.
Well, I mean, you can sell gems for gold.
Yeah.
Garl starts
those are
for some of the gems in her bag.
those are lifelines, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That I am rather loath to part with.
Maybe we can take out a loan.
Yeah, probably. I might be able to ask Alessandra and Gwendolyn to see if they can help. They keep getting money from places, and I don't know where they're getting it from, but I mean, like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of gold, Cassandra. I don't.
Huh?
They won't tell me where it's coming from. But I suppose I'm happier not knowing.
Yes, you are.
That's fair.
So perhaps we can ask them to finance this, especially if it is the difference between you being controlled in any way, shape, or form by the Lord of Light or not. 'Cause
True.
that is what we are suspecting is the cause of this, yes?
I think so. At least it has something to do with that event.
Yeah. Alright, well, do we want to start there or do we want to start with death?
It's up to all of you.
I mean, trying to think, is there any reason we should do them in a particular order?
As you're all sort of contemplating this, none of you hear or notice this until you see the hands kind of sitting at the edge of the table with someone just kind of resting them there. One hand entirely burnt to a crisp and ashen, the other one still mortal and human. So, deicide.
A little bit, yes.
Hello.
Just as a treat, just a little deicide as a treat.
You must understand why I am reluctant to share such knowledge. The last time knowledge of that ability was gained, it caused a great deal of damage to the world.
We are talking about the,
Yes,
Correct.
he is the one, and you, by extension, that caused that.
I apologize.
My bad.
From the bottom of my heart.
An entire
Oops.
god was sacrificed for that spell's creation.
Which one?
Their name was Eredin. They were once the god of man.
Oh,
My Homestuck sensors are going off. I'm so sorry. The Aquarius troll is also named Aridin. I apologize for that. There's no way you could have known. He's the worst one.
That
well,
is
second worst.
This is actual Pathfinder lore.
Oh no! Oh.
perhaps we can use the information to right that wrong.
Gods, I haven't even considered the possibility of resurrecting a god.
That would be expensive. Out of character.
So hear me out then. Mini
50th
arc.
level ritual.
Look, hear me out then. Mini arc. Bank heist.
Big heist.
We get the money. We do the big magic.
You must understand, I am reluctant to share that information again.
Of course. I just, I have
What?
to wonder if the risk of withholding that information outweighs the risk of sharing it, given what the entire world stands to lose if Ragnathon is successful.
What prompted you to share it the first time in the first place?
Ragnathon was once a champion of the gods. Unfortunately for us, we were mistaken in the lengths they would go to put an end to their war. The people that once inhabited the Magusgard Wastes, Axleon's people, had tempted fate with divine beings far too much. And when it was seen fit that they should be punished, they rebelled and plunged the world into war. Axion offered a way to end this war if he could learn a spell to destroy the creature that they had made, that they were drawing the ability to use divine magic from in their city. Nimbus, your mic didn't pick you up.
I said Axleon?
Ragnathon, sorry, I misspoke.
Thank you. Okay, I wanted to make sure because I was like, we're about to learn some lore
Oh,
about Axleon.
I was literally looking at the Axleon notes I had
Oh, okay,
when I was
gotcha,
saying
gotcha.
this. But no, Ragnathon learned this.
What was the creature?
It was a machine. A construct capable of offering divine power.
It didn't happen to be a 3-headed centipede, did it?
No.
We did find one of those in Magusgard Waste, and it was very scary. Sorry, continue.
But if I were to release this knowledge into the world through you, because like it or not, Nimbus, Cassandra, Garl, Lynx, if I share with you this information, this knowledge will return to the world. No matter what you do to hide it, it will find a way out. I would ask for a small trade. A piece of magical knowledge that has eluded me for some time. He just looks towards Nimbus.
I suppose I don't see any harm in sharing that. I think the greatest harm that could come of it is your using it, which would,
I would not use it. I would simply know it. And you would lose that knowledge.
Oh. That leaves us without a safety net. I mean, that leaves the world without a safety net. If this is to be a fair trade, is there any way you can impart the knowledge unto me or unto us, as the knowledge that I have was imparted to me in such a way that it can only be shared with one person at a time?
I can impart my knowledge thusly.
I suppose then there would be no worry about the knowledge of deicide being released. It wouldn't ever be general knowledge, just as this magic is not general knowledge.
That is why I seek this trade.
Ah. But then you would lose the knowledge of deicide. Is that...
I'm happy to lose that knowledge.
Cassandra will kind of be like, could you excuse us for just one moment? I just want to discuss this as a group.
Of course. They just kind of nod their
I-
head and walk away.
I also had a thought.
Oh, go ahead.
The concern, I believe, is that the knowledge, the God-killing knowledge, if released, could be misused. But what if, and I'm speaking to divine beings here, so they have more options possibly, that the knowledge was released to us in a form in that it could only be used for its intended purpose. Like, rather than actually giving us the knowledge, you give us the knowledge that has been made into like a thing, like a knife. More of like a metaphorical imparting of the knowledge. Like it is, the knowledge is symbolized in this knife. So just have to stab the god with it. Rather than teaching us anything, you just give us a one-use tool, like a toothbrush.
That's not how toothbrushes work.
D is gone and
They,
it's
they don't
gone.
they don't break after every use.
We're gonna put a pin in that one, Garl. I suppose it's not a bad idea. I don't know how you would condense knowledge into a physical thing that you could stab someone with and wield the knowledge that way. Just a little abstract.
I mean, we are dealing with gods here. They are, as I understand it, I am in no way a god person, cleric. They are concepts given form of sorts.
There
If-
is. Oh no, go ahead.
I was just saying, if I'm being dumb, just tell me.
I don't think you're being dumb. I like it. I think it's a good idea.
Agreed.
You know, I'm trying hard to think of good ideas. It hurts a lot.
Oh, please don't hurt yourself.
There is one way I can think of that would allow us to have access to both your backup spell and the information we're looking for.
How so?
Well, we do need to travel back in time to, fix my issues. But since that time is around when all of this went down, if I can get the information from Ragnarfon,
Oh. That is interesting. Do you think he would tell you? He kept you in the dark about a great many things.
true. But one advantage I can see there is in his mind, I'll be done with soon anyway. You stop.
Oh.
What would be the harm in telling me?
I guess it depends on how arrogant he really is.
How much I blow up his ego. Perhaps we can try that, and if it doesn't work, we go through with the deal here.
So, try the time travel thing first, make an exchange second? If that fails,
It's an idea.
it's a good idea. We just need to find 10,000 gold for that ritual.
True.
Bank heist.
Bank heist.
Or, admittedly, we could just take out like a loan or something. I mean, if it doesn't work out, we won't have to pay the loan anyway. And if it does, we'll have all the time in the world, and we'll be like, haha, we still saved the world. It's not a big deal.
Wait a second. Did Corellia ever have a savings account? Because the interest over those many thousands of years would be insane.
We go into like the desert. There's like an immortal bank clerk who sees. He's like, "Oh God, thank God, now I can die."
No, it was the First National Bank of Trelladar that she would have had her accounts under.
Should we take a little quick
We should
trip?
just look. We should, for posterity, I don't think we have to look.
I want to see if Corellia has intense savings. I want to see if the fish is loaded. What she actually owes money.
Now that you finally asked, well, Corellia's student loans were very expensive.
Ooh!
But now that you finally ask, by heading back to Trelladar and checking in on the bank there, Corellia's account does have 6,000 gold pieces in it.
That's it?
That is it.
That is all the interest I have acclimated?
Yes.
There's not a very good interest rate on that bank account.
Okay. Did I also have a joint account with Ragnaphon?
No.
Of course not.
No, there was a hefty prenup.
He kept his savings separate from yours.
Well, since he's technically deceased.
It was in your best interests.
Of course it was. Since he's technically deceased, would I be the benefactor?
No, he had a will written out so that you didn't get anything. Yeah, his will sent everything to his family. It's actually the wealth it's actually like the seed of wealth that created Nimbus's family. So.
We're learning so
Yourself.
much tonight. We're learning so much lore tonight.
Okay, but 6,000 gold is not bad. That's like a hefty chunk.
Yeah. And maybe I can have my family pay some reparations back to you, because
A few reparations.
I mean, maybe to the tune of 4,000 gold. Perhaps I can ask Father. Speaking of Father, just like on the back burner, how have things with the parents been going?
So your father has taken up a number of hobbies.
Oh boy.
He's gotten very into ornithology and bird watching in Trelladar. Because he's alone now. Malicor's out adventuring. You're
Oh no, he's
out
an empty
doing
nester.
that. And he has this like big empty mansion to himself.
Well, he had moved back to Lutania.
Yes, but he still has a big empty mansion to himself. And like, every now and then he'll teleport himself back to like speak with Rosemine and them. But most of the time your father's been alone, so he's just been like sitting in a park, sometimes playing chess with people.
Oh, Regal, you poor man. And how his mother been? How is Mother Dearest?
Oh, she's great. She is gallivanting around the world, doing magical research, being very powerful, being very large and in charge of things, and just having a grand old time.
Well, I guess that's an improvement from where she was before, which was depressed and meditating in the plane of death.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming they have not had any contact over the last 3 years.
He has not spoken to her. Malicor has seen your mother more than your father has.
Oh, well, that's good. How are they doing? How have things progressed with them?
That relationship is still tenuous at best.
Yeah, at least they're on speaking terms.
Yes.
That's something.
Your mom is actively annoyed that your father has not signed the divorce papers.
Really?
Yes.
Well, he has signed them, he just hasn't submitted them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's actively annoyed that that's the case.
Well, she might have to talk to him then. But well, I can ask him for money. Money, please.
I want you to know I've never done anything wrong, ever. Money, please!
He knows this and he loves me.
It is but I want to throw that character off a bridge.
We shall start calling her L. Nimbus L. Woods.
Is that the character you think we're talking about?
Yes.
No.
Oh, I'm incorrect.
Mona Lisa from Parks and Rec.
Oh, I've never
You know,
seen...
the sociopath.
I've never seen Parks and Rec, so...
Don't
Oh.
be suspicious. Don't
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. You may not know her name, but you do know Mona Lisa.
Subtitles, they were, in fact, suspicious.
All right. Yeah. You know what? I will visit Father, or perhaps I can wait till the next time. I am assuming we have like, you know, a weekly sort of dinner situation.
Yeah. He's been learning how to cook. The first couple meals were
Disastrous.
god awful, disastrous. You both ended up ordering in takeout now, but like now he's like competent.
Good for him. I love that for him.
Because like he's had servants all his life to do his cooking and everything for him. So like the fact that he's been having to like learn domestic labors has been a little bit hard for him, but he's getting there.
I guess he hasn't had to, but it's good that he is anyway.
It doesn't feel right training new staff without your mother around because, as he puts it, she picked Gunther and Gunther was like perfect, and all the staff that he picked ended up trying to steal from them or were layabouts. So he's not he doesn't have the greatest eye for people in that manner. So he's just kind of been doing everything himself.
Interesting. Oh, that poor man. Poor Gunther. I mean, Gunther's doing fine, but... well... you know, the next time we meet, I will ask him, like, so... You know Cassandra, right?
How much? And is it bail?
Well... No, actually.
Oh, good.
Think of it as reparations.
And a little bit of healthcare.
Your father
And a
just
little bit
looks
of
at you
healthcare.
with like do you know what that word?
Of course I know what that word means. In this case, it means that a good portion of our generational wealth is due to the fact that her husband left her with nothing after he violently entrapped and murdered her.
And gave her
And
immortal
to...
life.
Well, I mean, and not of her own volition, which is kind of the point. We are conducting a ritual to send her and probably ourselves. I don't know. We haven't really decided on that yet. Back in time, talk to a guy, see about deicide information, and
Just casual deicide.
you just do casual. I mean, you know that's what we were planning.
Just
on
the
doing.
weekend
this
only.
Isn't news to you, Father.
In all seriousness, Nimbus, I am more than happy to help. However, your brother has been quite caused our purse strings to become slightly tight with their research in the Magistguard wastes. So the most that I am able to offer you is 1,000 gold pieces.
Understandable. What is he doing out there that is
Funding expeditions.
stressing our finances so?
Funding expeditions into the wastes. And expansion
Gods,
and
I don't-
colonization and...
Is that what he's doing?
Yes. There's been a number of small settlements built up in the wastes that Malachor has funded.
Well, that you have funded.
Yes.
I suppose, I guess that is the definition of the word, but calling it colonization feels a bit...
I mean, it literally is. It's
I
not...
know.
We have to understand that, like, the word itself has some terrible connotations, but by definition, what they are doing, even though the land is a wasteland and desert, it is colonizing it.
All right, well... Hopefully, we can find that 3,000 gold somewhere.
Still haven't asked
Rituals
your
are
girlfriends.
expensive. Huh?
Still haven't
Well,
asked your girlfriends.
You have 7,000
That's
gold.
true.
You have 7,000 gold set aside for it. 6 from Cassandra, 1,000 from your father. So you only need 3,000.
Yes.
And how much
that's-
do you
that's
have,
what I said.
Nimbus?
I have roughly 2,000. Does anyone else have any gold that they can proffer up here?
Let me see.
Hold on.
Last I checked in my inventory, I have. Oh wow! I did not know I had. I have about 2,000 gold pieces, a little over.
All right.
I thought I had 300.
Oh,
What is Garl sitting on?
Noah reaches into her bag, and wrapped in old leather strips is about 2,500 gold pieces.
Ooh,
I keep forgetting to give people money when I take things.
that's fun. That's valid.
Well,
There's
I
a
guess if we
wanted
haven't-
poster of Garl up somewhere.
I would recommend continuing to do that, but you know, as long as no one's
She just gives it to
particularly
you.
angry with you, all of it.
I mean, it's not that shiny anymore, so eh.
The businesswoman in me
Puts-
wants to take this immediately, but
Puts
as a friend, the gold has worth regardless of how shiny it is, and I feel like that's
Garl puts an arm around Cassandra. What else do I need? Oh wait, where's Abby? Put Abby up on the.
Oh,
Abby's not there.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
She's wandered off into the library's reaches.
Oh no, it's such and such time. We don't know where our child is. I'm gonna go find Abby. You guys keep doing smart person talk.
Yeah.
Abigail.
I will now search the library like a wolf hunting its prey.
All right.
Make me a perception check to see how long it takes you to find Abby.
42.
Takes you about an hour. But you eventually find her surrounded by books that she has just opened and just sitting there reading.
All right.
I didn't birth her, but that is a child of mine.
Aw.
The books specifically, Garlic, she's looking at are like anatomy books, and like these are the points where the muscle and bone is like the most tenuously connected and are easily cuttable. Effectively looking at the most efficient way to kill people.
Garl may not have birthed her, but that's Garl's child.
All right. Well, let's start looking into the specifics of this ritual.
Mhm.
What kind of skills do the secondary casters need? How long does it take? What kind of materials do we need to collect with the gold that we've amassed?
So the gold itself is just expended. You place it in piles around the ritual area, and the gold will just disappear as part of the ritual.
Disappear.
It is the sort of the pay the piper, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
The main ritual stat. Now I have to pull up the notes for this ritual specifically. So yeah, the primary caster needs to be the person who's experiencing temporal disjunction.
Mm-hmm.
And the main ritual requires you to at least be an expert in either arcana, occultism, or performance.
Oh, thank goodness, a performance. I've got that one.
Well, you're the primary caster.
Yes, so the primary caster has to be doing one of those three skills. The other skills can be done with an arcana, occultism, or a religion check,
Thank the gods.
as well as crafting.
I mean, I only have a 23 in Arcana.
On a success, you are able to time travel with your group of people that you've selected. The primary caster with the secondary casters. However, a moderate amount of damage is taken by all parties involved. On a critical success, no damage is taken. On
Nice.
a failure, a major amount of damage is taken. And on a critical failure, everyone is effectively dropped to a 1 hit point upon exiting the temporal rift.
Oh boy.
That's actually surprisingly generous. The fact that the spell is technically successful even on a critical failure, it just zaps your hit points, is pretty...
But your maximum hit points while you're time traveling are reduced by the amount of
Oh, fuck.
the risky damage. So basically, if you critically fail, you'll be dropped to 1, and your maximum hit points will be reduced by 10d12.
Okay.
If you
Okay,
fail,
that's a
you'll take
lot.
10d12 damage.
But hopefully we won't be fighting anything while
If you succeed, you'll take 5d12 damage, and if you critically succeed, you take none.
Alright. Well, do we want to try this ritual? How many secondary casters are there allowed to be?
As many as you want. Because remember, the
Alright.
secondary casters also travel with the caster, so...
Interesting.
However,
Is there any, like, in-character roleplay way to ask what the DC for this is?
No.
No. Okay.
I will give you this. The ritual is considered hard.
Weird question. Would this help at all?
What is this, Abby?
It's called Magic Rider. Your people use powerful magic to travel between distant worlds, and the remnants of that magic makes such transportation easier for you. So it's mostly used for teleportation, but I wonder if time travel would count a little bit.
I would allow time travel to count a little bit. In this case, it would put you... It means that you are definitely going to appear closer to your destination than you... left.
Nice.
Alright. Oh, let me see something. I wonder if something in a coral could help. But I need to look at the coral.
I can throw some guidances around before
Okay.
we cast it.
It
and
is
all
not
that.
a long ritual. It's a very quick ritual. It's sort of just like a quick balance of energies and then go. However, it does sound like the time travel is the methodology you've had decided to target first, team. Then in,
Yeah, I think so.
Then in that case, as you prepare this ritual and get everything set up for the circle, just so that Cooper can be here for it, and
True.
can be the one to roll for links, we're going to end a little bit early tonight right there.
Spicy.
To be fair, we've gone over several times recently in various streams, so to balance out.
So join us next week, chat, now that our party has made a decision as to how they want to pursue Deicide. Next
We've got
week,
to go back to the past.
we begin to go back to the past, and then we'll be back to the future as our party time travels. So thank you all so much for coming tonight. Don't forget to check out our many other shows here on the channel, like the Astral Calling the Astral Calling campaign. It's our Friday Spelljammer campaign. Prologue's ending this week. If you want to get caught up to it, all of it's on YouTube right now. Go like, the comment, and subscribe on those videos. Tell us how much you like Eevee. And we will see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.